This reflection focuses on one key topic from the semester, neoliberalism in global governance. I choose this topic because it challenged my beliefs. I used to think institutions like International Monetary Fund, which is known as IMF, and World Bank are neutral. Now I see the following strong neoliberal ideas. This video critically reflects on neoliberalism, which is the topic that greatly interests me, exploring how it influenced the role of power in international negotiations, affect power transitions, examines its implication for global governance, and evaluate neoliberalism still shape global governance today sequentially. Primarily, I learned from lecture and reading that this system is rooted in classic liberalism but takes its idea further. Key thinkers like Milton Friedman and Friedrich Hayek argued for free market and limited government interventions. Their ideas gained global popularity in 1980s through political leaders such as Margaret Thatcher in UK and Ronald Reagan in the US. Neoliberalism promotes deregulations, privatizations, and strong protection of private property rights. It encouraged the belief that the private sector is more efficient than government and should drive economic and social progress. In this field, governments should reduce their role and let market and the private enterprise take the lead. And this topic interests me because I have long believed that global institutions work to reduce inequalities and protect vulnerable populations. However, engaging with the reading and lecture in the class challenged that belief. I was particularly struck by example of the World Trade Organization, IMF, and World Bank, which enforced rules that restrict what government can do to protect their economies. Countries cannot easily support small farmers or local industries without facing trade penalties. This reduced national sovereignty and limited democratic choices. And also, one major insight from this topic is the role of power in international negotiations. Neoliberalism does not remove power from politics, it changes how power works. Instead of using military force or direct threats, powerful countries use financial tools and international institutions to shape the behavior of others. For example, I learned that IMF and World Bank often promote neoliberal reforms like reducing public spending, opening their markets, or privatizing public services as conductions for receiving loans. While this is framed as help, it often reflects the performance of rich countries, especially the United States and its allies. For instance, neoliberalism has transformed the global seed industry through deregulations. Today, four multinational corporations, including Bayer, Corteva, ChemiChina, and BASF, that control 50 to 60% of 45 billion global seed market. These including both no GMO and GMO seeds. This shows how quickly a few large companies have taken over the seed industry. Alright, in the USA, about 80% of US corn and over 90% of soybeans have controlled by Monsanto's and sold by Monsanto's or its licenses. These seeds are protected by laws that prohibit farmers from saving or replanting them. This increasing their dependency on annual purchases. In India, more than 90% of cotton grown in BT cotton, a genetically modified variety. The rising cost of these seeds and related inputs have been linked to over 300,000 farmers' suicides since the 1990s. Since the 1990s, over 75% of crop genetic diversity worldwide has been lost. This loss is mainly caused by uniform seeds and industry farming practice. Here, it is important to recognize that these trends have been significantly driven by neoliberal policies. And moreover, neoliberalism has shaped global governance by promoting free markets, privatization, and minimum state interventions. However, power transactions like the rise of China challenges this Western-led model. China's state-led development, including creating institutions like the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank (AIIB), unlike the IMF and the World Bank, the AIIB does not require strict policy reform like cutting public spending or opening markets. This shift challenged and dominance of neoliberal rules in global governance, showing that power is not just shifting geographically but ideologically. As new power rise and more countries turn turn to the AIIB, neoliberalism global influence may weaken or adapt. Furthermore, the learning throughout the semester made me think deeply about the world we live in. It is to ask if neoliberalism is really the main focus today. I agree that the world is more complex. Neoliberal policies like reductions of public spending, privatization, and deregulation continue to shape many areas of life, from public transport to education and healthcare. These policies often increasing inequality and reduce access to basic services. Such real-life issues show how neoliberal ideas affect daily life. I believe neoliberalism is still strong, but people are becoming more aware of its impact and questioning its dominance. That is why this topic matters to me. It helps me to understand how power works and why it is so important.